Life cycle costing, LCC, is a methodology which allows to evaluate the costs along the whole lifetime of a product or a project, from production, construction to dismantling. In order to evaluate the affordability of the timber prefabricated multifunctional facade retrofit approach from the economical point of view, a cost analysis comparing the approach with a standard renovation intervention can be performed. The starting point is the evaluation on the initial investment costs, taking into account the following main fields: design cost of the project, facade production costs, including all the integrated elements, transportation, building site expenses. Then the analysis allows to switch the perspectives of the cost evaluation from the investment time to the lifetime of the technology. In the LCC method, costs are converted to common present values by discounting them to the same length of time using a discount rate. Hereafter, an example deals with the life cycle cost preliminary analysis which has been performed on a typical single-family house. In the example, the timber prefabricated multifunctional facade retrofit approach has been compared with the standard renovation approach, including the same technologies and providing the same benefits. The prices for the prefabrication approach come mainly from an evaluation made by a German timber building manufacturer, while those related to the standard renovation have been mainly taken from the Elenco prezzi informativi per opere civili 2019 of the province of Bolzano. Finally, also the duration of both interventions has been estimated both from German timber building manufacturer and from several web sources. In particular, renovation interventions have considered the increase of thermal performances of the envelope, the removal of old windows and replacement with new ones, the installation of an electrical supplied external shading system, the installation of decentralized mechanical ventilation machines with heat recovery system beside each window, exploiting the existing window hole, the installation of a photovoltaic system. In the case study analyzed hereby, the initial cost to be invested is about 65,000 for the standard renovation approach and 92,000 for the prefabrication renovation approach. The difference between the two total initial costs is about 27,000 euros. Although this cost difference can be a relevant one, it must be considered that some hidden costs of the traditional renovation are not included in the analysis. In fact, while in the prefabricated renovation approach the project coordination is performed by the same entity, in the standard one each operation has to be performed by different actors and many more workers have to find a good interaction and scheduling for completing the installations. This last condition is more critical from the timing point of view, and it could cause a shifting of the activities and unforeseen events which could increase costs. Another aspect to be considered but hard to monetize is that the standard intervention brings along a much higher disturbance for building occupants, since each renovation operation is performed at different times and requires several interactions with workmen and technicians. This may also increase costs. Although it has not been quantified, during the standard renovation process, more failures of components are likely to occur, since the mounting operations are entirely performed on the building site. This is clearly a less controlled and more risky working conditions, which may be a source of unexpected costs. Due to the nature of the intervention, the lifetime of a prefabricated facade is very long. In fact, the external cladding serves as a protection against weather conditions and, if its coating is done properly, repainting approximately every 10 years, the lifetime of the prefabricated modules can last for almost 50 years. On the other hand, in the case of simple external thermal insulation composite system, it is very likely that it may look ruined and needed a repainting after 10 years. And it has to be completely replaced after approximately 25 or 30 years. After evaluating the total initial cost of both the standards and the prefabrication approaches for the renovation, a preliminary life cycle cost analysis has been performed. In general, the result of the LCC is that the prefabrication renovation approach has a lower estimated cost if the evaluation is being done on a wider time period. In fact, while the initial cost of the prefabrication approach is higher, about 40% more, its durability and lower maintenance costs make the intervention more convenient from the financial point of view if the expenses are evaluated on the product's lifetime basis. Considering the 50 years long evaluation period, the timber multifunctional prefabricated intervention is about 14% cheaper than the standard renovation approach. Although the presented analysis is referred to a specific intervention configuration, the prefabrication renovation approach has a high potential in reducing costs on life cycle span. Although considering only the investment costs, the standard renovation approach may seem more convenient, extending the evaluated period of the analysis, the prefabrication approach becomes more attractive and competitive.